Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, all depending on when you're watching. My name is Marv Fox Jr. Did you know there was 8 types of a genius, or 8 types of intelligence? 8 types of intelligence. I like to say 8 types of genius, but there are 8 types of intelligence. I have the list. I'm going to read them because I don't feel like messing up in front of you and trying to memorize them. Okay? We have logical, mathematical. We have linguistic intelligence, we have spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, we have bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, we have intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, and last but not least, we have naturalistic intelligence. Here's the cool thing about us humans. We possess all 8 types of intelligence, and with a lot of hard work, grit, determination, we can become exceptional in any of the 8 forms of intelligence. But here's the thing, many of those 8 types of intelligence will have a cap on them in terms of their potential, right? We're limited, right? But we can still be exceptional with a lot of hard work. But here's the good news. There are some types of intelligence where we are special, where our potential is limitless, and that's where we find our genius level talent. Right? So when our genius level talent is in person, because it is connected to our purpose, our God ordained purpose. So let's talk about the 3 things that influences genius level talent. Number 1 is God. Sometimes you will show up in this world with a talent that no one can trace where this talent came from. We can't look at your bloodline. We can't look at your circumstances. Sometimes God is involved all by himself. And what I mean by that is He sculpts us, he creates us, he molds us, he injects certain forces within us that are specific to his purpose for us on this earth. And that's the only way that you can explain why this person has this skill set that cannot be traced based on bloodline, genetics, or just circumstances, right? But now here's where the science comes in, right? So God is the magic portion. Here's the science portion. There is a thing called epigenetics. So here's the second influence. Epigenetics is the science of conditions impacting genetics, right? So when we pass down those genes, or what genes was passed down to us, we didn't just get the gene, we also got the circumstances, the conditions that altered and impacted the genetic coding, right? So when you look at your child, or when you look at yourself, yeah, you have this talent, but this talent can probably be traced via the bloodline in the family. You can look at those before you, whether it's your parents, whether it's your grandparents, your great-grandparents, so on and so forth, or you could look at your child and you could see some connection between what you're good at and what they're good at, right? Or what your parents and your grandparents and so on and so forth were good at. You can trace the talent via the bloodline. And here's the last influence. There's conditions, right? There are conditions. Sometimes where you are impacts what you are good at, right? There's a reason why all of the long distance runners come from a certain area. There's a reason why ice skaters come from a certain area. There's a certain reason why certain people come from certain areas, right? Even if you look at sports, your quarterbacks come from over here, your running backs come from over here, your receivers come from over here, your linemen come from over here. There are certain environmental situations, circumstances, and conditions that impact or that develop and cultivate talent and bring those talents to the surface. So, long story short, when you start thinking about what you're good at, when you start thinking about what makes you special from a talent standpoint, I want you to consider 3 things. First of all, consider God. Consider God. Pray that God will show you your genius level talent, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is this. Ask questions about your family. Learn about your family. See if you can trace the bloodline. Figure out as much as you can about your parents, about your grandparents, about your great-grandparents, about your uncles and aunts. Learn as much as you possibly can about the bloodline, because there might be some very, very good intel that might help you to understand why you are special and where you are special. And the last but not least, be aware and conscious of your surroundings. There's so many environmental conditions, elements, and clues letting you know this is why you're special and this is where you're special. And if you ever wanted to help yourself out, if you ever wanted to help out your family, if you ever wanted to help out your community, and you can define community, I encourage you, figure out what your genius level talent is, invest in that, and take that as far as you can go. Because again, when you operate within your genius level talent, You are limitless. I hope that makes sense. My name is Marv Fox Jr., and I help incredibly ambitious and brave people discover their purpose with 2 simple questions. Done.